everyone. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unheard Stories. I am Lubna Hassaniya. Thank you for joining us today, no matter where you are around the globe. Your presence makes this event possible. Each one of us sitting here today has a unique story. What makes the crux of our story so unique are not necessarily the experiences we go through in life. The uniqueness is fostered in the way we choose to live those experiences and the way we express ourselves in the process. The more creative we tend to be, the more disruptive we are of the status quo, and the more unique our story becomes. Talaat Captan's story is definitely not an everyday story. It is not one of habit or routine. Besides his strong ambition and his willingness to work hard, Talaat Captan has the courage to think outside the box, to connect the dots in ways no one before him even thought conceivable, creating all sorts of possibilities, not only for himself, but for those around him as well. Welcome to Unheard Stories, Talaat.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Lubna. It's really nice of you to invite me for this talk. It's really nice. I look forward to share my experience with a lot of people and do a lot of fun. It would be great thing to do.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for accepting my invitation. Talaat, you have a proven record of success for creating and developing new business concepts. One of those concepts is Air Hollywood, which is a specialty aviation film studio. And you managed to turn it into the largest of its kind in the world. How did you come up with the idea of Air Hollywood? I mean, what led you to it, basically? And what were you trying to change and accomplish in the process?
You know, my background is mainly as film distribution and film productions and producing movies. And I started producing movies probably the last 25 years. But the interesting part here is I'm always passionate about aviations. So I always wanted to do a film about air traffic controllers, pilot, aviation. So I went ahead and we wrote a script and we were making the movie in Los Angeles. You know, we had a decent cast, everything was going really well. Now we need to film inside of an airplane and then at an airport. Then we find out it's literally impossible to film at an airport or an airplane. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Ugh. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So it was really impossible to film inside of an airport or an airplane. So there was two guys in town that provide airplanes, and so one is bad, the other one is worse. So I said, you know what, I can do a lot better than that. So I really kind of, after we finished the movie, we decided to, we started Air Hollywood. And I thought it would be a good idea to because that was the most difficult thing to do. Even airline do not use their own airplane to film commercials or anything. So that's why we started Air Hollywood. This is how it started out.
Nice. And what you've done with it is nothing short of amazing. You basically saw potential in decommissioned aircraft.
Correct.
You took them out of a graveyard, basically. Right. And then turn them into something useful and fun. You once said, Talaat, and I'm quoting you, you said, repurposing commercial aircraft offers a unique opportunity to infuse utility, artistry, and sustainability into one beautiful product, unquote. I would like to share with our audience today a short 5-minute video about that beautiful product you created called Air Hollywood. Let's watch it together.
Hollywood has always been fascinated with flying.
One ticket to Tokyo, please.
Planes and airports have been the backdrops of some of the most memorable scenes in movies and TV.
I have had it with these snakes on this plane!
But I've always wondered, do filmmakers rent an entire plane or build an entire set for each of these movies? That sounds expensive and like a lot of work. As it turns out, there's a place in Hollywood entirely dedicated to helping filmmakers create scenes both inside and outside of planes. Air Hollywood creates customized aircrafts and airport sets for some of today's biggest filmmakers, from Martin Scorsese to Quentin Tarantino. I visited the studio to see how they make flight scenes, including dramatic plane crashes, feel real. The first thing I got to check out was Air Hollywood's narrow-body, or single-aisle, aircraft, which is used in scenes to show domestic flights. The studio gets their parts from decommissioned aircrafts, which they take apart and then rebuild into custom sets. They're able to swap out pretty much every component of these planes to replicate different settings and eras.
We can take the windows out, we can take the ceiling off, we can have different chairs, we can have first class.
This is their wide-body aircraft, which is used for longer distance travel scenes. It was the site for one of the funniest moments in Bridesmaids.
This should be open because it's civil rights.
Moving a single seat can take up to 4 hours on a real plane, but here they do it in just 2 minutes. So they can easily go from these first-class Emirates airline suites, seen in Sex and the City 2, to a more low-budget option, like these ones in It's Always Sunny. This looks a lot more familiar. Oh yeah, this looks about right. This is great. I can't go back to regular. I have to fly first class the rest of my life now. An even bigger upgrade? This Gulfstream, which is used whenever they need to show a private jet. It's been featured prominently in shows like Silicon Valley, and in music videos by artists like The Weeknd
When I travel around the globe, make a couple million shows.
and Pitbull.
Hold me down.
Since the planes are usually sitting inside a parking lot or warehouse, getting that cinematic window view takes some trickery. Sometimes it's as simple as darkening the lights to make it look like nighttime, or using Air Hollywood's smog machine to create clouds. When a director wants a more fantastical backdrop, they'll put green screens over the windows, which will then get replaced digitally. Another challenge is making it look like the plane is actually moving. Camera movements are usually enough to fake the motion of a plane during takeoff or landing. But in order to create real turbulence, you know, the kind that make your teeth rattle, the studio had to build a special airbag system to go underneath their planes. With the help of some powerful compressors, these airbags can be rapidly inflated and deflated to really shake the plane.
You really feel it. We can make it lighter, heavier, very extreme.
Just how extreme? Lost was filmed right here. I love it.
When we filmed Lost, it was really, really challenging. We had to take the plane apart in green screen and put people getting pulled with wire and strings, all the stunned people.
It helps that their studio is equipped with all the tools for creating an in-flight catastrophe.
With the push of a button, we can have all the oxygen masks come down.
They've also got programmed sound effects, flashing lights, and a PA announcement system that the pilot can use to deliver some bad news. The only thing Hollywood loves more than a flight crisis is an airport goodbye. All these scenes were filmed at the studio's airport terminal set, which can be connected to any of the planes via a jetway.
This is a real TSA setup. Everything works, and the X-ray machines do work.
They can reproduce any part of the airport experience, from check-in to baggage claim. All the signage and furniture comes from the props and wardrobe department, which includes a huge selection of real airport and airline uniforms from different decades. Right now, I'm going to get in this cockpit and do some flying, but before, I got to dress the part, so...
Welcome to Air Hollywood.
All right.
It's the safest airline in the world.
I got to play captain in a vintage flight deck, and not just any flight deck. This is the one scene in the movie Airplane, a classic 80s spoof of a plane disaster film. Of course I'm serious, and don't call me Shirley. There's something so thrilling about being in a cockpit. Even if it's not going anywhere or the buttons don't do anything, I can see why there's so many aviation scenes in movies and TV shows.
So there's just so many stories that happen on the airplane. There's always has something to do with travel.
Thank you, Dr. Lubna, for sharing this. It's fun
Sure.
remembering all these films that we've done.
It is a lot of fun, and it's so wonderful that like you said we always get a special thrill out of airplane scenes, actually, no matter what the genre of the movie is. And I find it ingenious, Talaat, how you've managed to repurpose and equip such aircraft to create the epic airplane and airport scenes. Now, Air Hollywood is not the only experience you created. You have also the Pan Am experience, which I find as ingenious. The Pan Am experience is an immersive dining experience aboard a replica Pan Am 747. Now, this has proven to be a remarkable Hollywood attraction. I have two questions. on that for you. First, can you tell us what happens at the Pan Am experience? What should one expect when we visit? And how did such an idea take root and develop into what it is today?
We really started the Pan Am experience. A friend of mine, his name is Anthony Toth. He is a huge collector of memorabilia. So he came into our studio, and him and I, we decided to use all the memorabilia that he has to create what we call a vintage experience in 1970, what it's like to be on Pan Am 747 in the old days. So we have, we thought, let's give it a try and just do an event or a couple of events a year, just for the fun of it. And we called Pan Am because Pan Am is a brand. So we asked them to get a permission, and they had no idea what we were talking about. And they said, okay, fine, you can do that. So we started doing the first show and the second show and the third show. All of a sudden, tickets went really wild. The whole entire experience became very much in demand. And we sold out for 5 years, every single event, at least 6 months in advance. And it was, you come in and you have a 5-course dinner meal, and everything is retro, everything is vintage, and it's a really lot of fun. We have music, we have fashion show, we have trivia, and we have history. It's really a lot of fun. People come in, and they come in from all over the country. Tickets prices are like $400 a ticket, and we usually put them online. Within 5 minutes, they're gone.
They're gone.
And when COVID started, it's in February of last year, we had to refund 6 months worth of tickets to people and some people said, oh, it was impossible for me to get a ticket. So please, hang in there. And I wanted to come back. I want to stay. I want to be able to do the show, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So that's the Pan Am experience.
Yeah, because flying the Pan Am back in the 70s was quite an elaborate experience. Yeah,
it is, and we use all vintage stuff. We do all the china, all the silverware. Everything is original. Magazine of the 1970s. I mean, you can anybody's interested to look at it is the panamexperience.com. It's really a lot of fun. We had a great time doing it, and right now we are looking at 2 locations, one in Los Angeles and one in Las Vegas. We're trying to decide and negotiate to restart the Pan Am experience after COVID.
Yes, good luck with that. Yeah, that's fabulous. People do hunt for vintage, like you said, and dream about the good old days.
Yeah.
This is definitely the place to visit. Among the many aviation sets, and you have many, you can talk about those if you want. There's a recent one that you just introduced called the Autoplane, which is a fully mobile, 53-foot-long airplane mock-up that is available for rent. I have a short video, just a 1-minute video that I like to share with our audience so that we can see what the Autoplane is and how it works. And then we'll come back and discuss.
That is interesting. It took, usually it takes 2.5 hours to set it up and get it ready for filming. We normally, when people call us, they come to our studio and they look at the airplane and say, oh, can you bring it to our studio? I say, sure, but it's going to cost you a lot more money. Universal came in and saw the plane that we have, and they said, can you bring it over? And I said, well, listen, if you film in our studio, we'll charge you $10,000. If you bring it over, is going to be a lot more higher. So they said, okay, how much is it going to cost? And we said, it's going to cost over $100,000. They said, it's okay, just bring it over. So that really made us think, okay, we have to think of a way to be able to put something for moving quickly and set it up, because it's all about time and cost. So now we can deliver this airplane. We just finished filming HBO project last week, and the week before we did a Showtime film, and it's going next week to another production. So things are picking up, which is nice, and everybody loves that. And we shipped this to Hawaii as well. We put it on the boat and we deliver it to Hawaii for a scene in the movie. And it went to Canada. We did Apple commercials. I mean, you'd be surprised how many shows and TV. We had this for about 3 years now, and it's always really busy, which is really great to have. I wish we had more, but we only have one right now.
Yeah, you will have many, I'm sure, in the near future. Yeah. So it's been received well, I hear, from the industry.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. The autoplane allowed you to expand beyond Hollywood. But you've also ventured out into other parts of the world. You mentioned to me over the phone once that you exist in Atlanta, in New York, in South Korea, in Canada, in Lebanon, and that's only to name a few. Can you tell us a little bit about your ventures abroad?
We have in Korea, we have two big, huge aircraft and a lot of parts that we made two huge movies there. So we really do a lot of productions there. In Atlanta, we have a setup over there as well. And we have also in New York, and we're just doing a big movie in New York as well. And now we're negotiating with Canada. Hopefully this will expand to more territory as far as Asia is concerned and as far as Europe is concerned. Now we're talking to Estonia to set up over there. And it's exciting because they see the benefits of it and they see all our experience, because we have 20 years of experience, making movies on airplane, from crashes to a regular flight to a lot of special effects. So that's what we do.
Yeah. And you've tried to open up a little bit your doors beyond just film studios abroad.
Yes, we do distributions, film distribution throughout. So that's originally my background. I started the business in the distribution side of the filmmaking, and it's always important to start with the distribution side. And then you move into productions, because where you can sell the product that you're going to make. Mm-hmm. And that's very important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you must be very proud of what you've accomplished so far, knowing that you are not only a completely self-made success story, but also an immigrant who rose to the top in one of the most competitive cities in the world and the most competitive industry. Why did you leave Lebanon?
I left in 1976. The Civil War started in 1975, mm-hmm. and it started on a Sunday night, and I remember that very well. Mm-hmm. And we stayed without school and just waiting. And my parents decided to say that's the best thing for me to leave. And of course, we didn't have funds for me to go to college or anything like that. So literally, they shipped me out, and I ended up in San Diego, basically. And that was my first stop in America to come here. And I was the best dishwasher you can ever find. So washing dishes was my expertise when I first started, because not a word of English. I was French educated. So it was really a challenging time. You have to start all the way from the bottom. And I had like $600 in my pocket, and that was it. And I learned it's like being, start from the bottom is always great, because you get to learn all the challenging things in life versus starting from the top, and the only way from the top is down. So it worked out really well for me. I really worked hard, and I did challenging jobs, from waiter to busboy to gas stations to salespeople. It's just it was an experience, which is something good to have.
Yeah. Was learning the language difficult for you?
At the beginning, it was really hard because, I had to have money to be able to go to college, and I didn't have any. So I went to the church because it was for free to learn English. And that's how I started learning English.
Yeah.
بس في مثل بيقول اللي ينسى أصله ما عنده أصل.
Uh-huh.
So I always remember where I'm from,
Yeah.
So that's something I'm very proud of.
That's your core foundation. That's your strength.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Well, that's a good story, Talat. And the silver lining of the struggles and challenges one faces in life is that they push us to be stronger, like you said, and to appreciate life and to become at least mindful of the struggles of others. You were on your way one day to China, out of Los Angeles airport, and something interesting happened while you were waiting in line for TSA. It opened up your mind and your heart to something new and led you to create what you called Open Sky for Autism, a philanthropy program aimed at helping families living and dealing with autism. Your program has been featured several times on the news. I like to share the CBS2 clip with our audience, then we'll come back and discuss.
Affected by autism face many challenges, and air travel is one of them.
Entertainment studio Air Hollywood has been helping for the past 8 years. CBS 2's Tina Patel was at this year's Open Sky for Autism event.
Perfect. Right this way. That's the ticket.
It's a big day for 8-year-old Ramon. He's going on his first trip to the airport with his parents.
Are you excited? Yes.
Ramon has autism, so his parents are trying to make the process easy for him.
Here, you want to put the luggage? Yes.
They're showing him how to check in and go through security.
Are you ready now? All right, come on in. There you go. Good job.
Ramon's mom says a new experience like this can be overwhelming for kids on the autism spectrum.
He has to follow a schedule, and if we go off of the schedule, he gets a little tantrums, and again he's like I don't want to do it.
Luckily, this is all practice. A special program put together by Air Hollywood, a movie and TV studio in Pacoima. The studio head says he got the idea a few years ago.
I was flying out of LAX and I was going through the TSA and I watched a family going really through a struggle.
The child had autism and didn't understand what was going on at the airport. He realized he could use his sets to help families, partnering with real TSA agents and flight crews.
They learn about the kids and the kids learn about them.
Ramon's mom says she always wanted to take her son on a trip, but she wasn't sure if he'd be able to handle it.
Well, my whole family lives in Mexico, so they had never met him before. So that's why I want to go to Mexico and introduce it to my family.
She's proud of how he did on this simulated flight.
It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be so much fun.
Nothing's going to scare.
Nothing's going to happen.
Air Hollywood did today's simulations to help families get ready for the summer travel season. They say they hope to do this again later in the year to help families right before the holidays. In Pacoima, Tina Patel, CBS 2 News.
It's not only heartbreaking to see these children with autism struggle with daily life, but also to see the parents, Talaat, at times confused, but still eager to do their best to make things look and feel okay for their kids. You're adding a great comfort to their lives with this program. How does it make you feel to know that you've made a difference in someone's life?
That's one of the hardest day I have usually when I have this Open Sky for Autism, because people come and give me a hug and they say, oh, you must have a kid for autism. That's why you do this. And I say, no, I don't. And they start crying and really start hugging. And I'm very thankful because we do this for free. We don't charge any money for it. And we serve lunch and we want them to have the experience. It's been very, very delightful. The results are amazing because, I receive so many emails from people travel after they come and see us and usually make a big difference in people's life. And that really what makes me happy because I remember my dad said, so it's always you really have to do well and try to help people if you can. Beside the Open Sky for Autism, we started the program as well for fear of flying, for people afraid of flying. So they come into our studio and I I find experts come and teach how to get over the fear of flying. And the fun part about that fear of flying is you learn a lot from in the terminal, and then you go into the airplane where we do turbulence and sound effects, and then we all of us go to the airport and we fly to San Francisco for lunch. And literally 80% of the people do make it. The other 20% is really tough for them to get on board. And we help dog who we call a blind dog. I mean, not blind dog. Sorry, I meant dog for the blind. And service dog where they can come in and they practice in our airports and our airplanes. So we try to use our facility to really help people, and we really don't charge any money for any of these people. We help students do their stuff, so it's fun. It's a fun experience. It feels great when you give. It's always better to give than take.
Definitely. That's remarkable. Thank you for doing that, Talaat.
Thank
and
you.
You've also been a mentor to many people in the course of your career.
Yes,
how can someone listening to you today contact you should they need to reach out to you?
They can reach me on my email, tc@airhollywood.com. And I'm more than happy to supply or provide or help or give advice. I've done productions for 30 years of production. I went to all the film festivals around the world, from the Cannes Film Festival to Venice Film Festival to you name it. So I have quite a lot of experience in the film industry. So that I've done and I can help a lot, especially people who are really trying to get into that business.
Yes.
Producing. I produced like 22 feature films, and the challenging part is like you really have to be able to deal with agent, managers, publicists, and lawyers. And these are the things that are really the most challenging part in filmmaking. Everything else is really a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing that. That's awesome. We left your email in the chat box for those who are interested. What's your plan for the future? Now that COVID restrictions are fading away, what do you plan?
Well, our industry right now, it was really put on hold completely for almost a year and a half. It was really, really a struggle to stay above the water, It was really hard. Right now, literally, we just started probably about a month ago. We started to get busier. And now it's like we really have to survive. We have to keep going because it's been really a struggle. And we have to come back and open the Pan Am experience. And we're trying to decide. Of course, we like to expand and be in different part of the world. Air Hollywood is such a great, unique facility, not only to provide production facility for the airline industry or the film industry, but also help the kids with autism and help a lot of people who really have fear when you come to flying and things like that. So we really want to expand.
That's good. As normal life slowly returns and to us, and COVID is gone, things will brighten up eventually, and I'm sure you'll be able to realize your dreams and carry out your plans. Thank you so much, Talaat. I'm done with my questions. Thank you for sharing your inspiring story with us today. Can we take some questions from the audience?
Sure, of course.
I have one from our beloved Mirna Khawli, Councillor Mirna Khawli, former Consul General of Lebanon in LA. Go ahead, Mirna, you have your question. Unmute yourself.
Hello, Lubna. Thank you very much for today. Hi.
I'm
sorry, I'm outdoors, so there's not too much light. Like this is better. Hi, Talaat. How are you, Talaat? I'm
You can tell me.
I want to congratulate you first. I'm so happy that you are here and we heard your story. We chatted a lot before. You remember the lunch at our beloved friend. We remember him today. Fuad.
Of course,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
You know.
May his soul rest in peace.
Yes.
And you know, I'm always proud of you. And as a Lebanese person in California, you did a lot. We know that you raised Lebanon very, very, very high in your work. I'm so happy that we met, especially that you are from our area, from Tripoli. I always remember your words and the conversation we did. I just wanted to congratulate you. Thank you very much, Lubna, to put us with the Talaat.
It's so good to see you, Mirna.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you so much. That's really nice of you to say.
Thank you.
Stay safe. We'll now go to Graziella and Ambassador Macaron.
Yes, hello, Talaat.
Hi.
Thank you, Dr. Hassani. It's
Ahlan.
a great idea to invite
Yes.
Talaat to this beautiful webinar.
Thank you.
Talaat, two questions. What is the most difficult challenge you faced in your business? And it is a business, it is an art or a passion. Second, it is quite clear that you succeeded in the film industry. Do you have good relation with the Lebanese community in Southern California, especially with the Lebanese American Foundation? Did they call you to invite you to interact with Lebanese American youth? Thank you.
You know, I'm one of the very, very proud Lebanese. I refuse to change my name. You know, my name is Talaat. It's not easy to pronounce Talaat, you know, but I refuse to change my name. That's number one. I served 4 years on the board of the American Film Market, which is it's a prestigious organizations. You know, it's a nonprofit organization for all filmmakers in the business. After 4 years of serving on the board, you know, I lost my seat after September 11 because they thought it was not a good idea to vote for an Arab to become on the board, and that really hurt, you know, because you know, I mean, I'm sure you understand, but I think the following year people realized that that was the wrong thing to do, and they invited me to on the board again, which is I refused. The most challenging part I really faced in this business was, you know, being a Lebanese, you know, it's a great. I do help in every way I can for the Lebanese community, and I served on the board of House of Lebanon in here in Los Angeles for many years, and I raised a lot of money into my studio, and I had an event where I created event and invited a lot of people to come in, visit the studio, and we raised money. I raised something, I think about $75,000 for just one evening. I did the Pan Am experience, especially for the House of Lebanon, and all the money went to House of Lebanon. So to me, it's like Lebanon is such precious to me. You know, I'm very proud of that, and I will always be there whenever I'm asked to help a Lebanese community.
I found the House of Lebanon in Los Angeles in 2000. For this reason, I asked this question. Because I left in 2001, I founded this the House of Lebanon in 2000, and it was a great job, really.
I had actually the first House of Lebanon party in Air Hollywood was done in 2001, right after basically when we first started opening our business, you know. And I think at that time the entrance was like $10 or something. That was at the beginning, and I remember that very well.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you for your questions. I have a note here from Rania Jardi. She's saying it's amazing what you're doing for the kids on the spectrum, and she's asking, she's asking to see if she could volunteer with you. Take a question from Marwan Halayir. Go ahead, unmute.
Hey, buddy.
Marwan, Habibi.
I don't actually have a question. I just want to say hi to Talaat.
Oh,
ages I haven't seen him. We've been together through Cannes festivals every year and out, in and out. We've been good friends for so many years. I'm glad to see you, buddy.
Marwan, I miss you a lot. You're one of the nicest people I know. I'm
Thank
so
you, buddy.
glad
Thank you.
you came about. That's really great.
I'm connecting from Dubai. That's why the background is Dubai. So just to say, just to give you some memories back, Talaat.
Oh, thank you, Habibi.
Good to see you, buddy. Take care, and hopefully we're gonna see our Hollywood here in Dubai sometime soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you, Lubna, for this session.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you
welcome. Thank you for joining us from Dubai. That's great. Anything else you'd like to add, Talaat?
You know, I'm really very thankful, really to you, and for really bringing all this our community together, trying to put this together. I am from Tripoli. I am very proud to be from Tripoli. You know, and I'm always there to support and help whoever needs some help in this business. I have a lot of experience in this business: production, distribution, studio, festivals. I mean, you name it, I've done it. So. And more than happy to help in any way I can.
That's great.
But thank you again, though.
Yeah, of course, of course. I'm gonna try not to keep you any longer.
No, that's
fine. I know what's coming up next for you. You have a family reunion to go to.
No, thank you.
To drive to. But I want to tell you that it was an absolute pleasure to have you on Unheard Stories, Talaat. I'm really eager to see what experiences you'll be developing next. To everyone in our audience, we are so grateful you joined us today. Please don't forget to connect with us again. Unheard Stories comes to you monthly on the last Saturday of every month. You wouldn't want to miss my next episode, which is scheduled for Saturday, June 26th. My next story comes to you from Paso Robles wine country off the stunning coast of Southern California as we explore yet another amazing journey. The journey of the inseparable Dow brothers. George and Daniel Dow sold their technology company that revolutionized hospital computer systems and went on to fulfill a lifelong dream to cultivate and build Dow Mountain, home of one of the world's greatest vineyards and winery, the likes of Napa and Bordeaux. Please find the link to register for the event in the chat box. To watch past events and know about our future ones, you can follow me on social media. Thank you for bringing us into your home and making us part of your Saturday. Goodbye for now. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Ahlan. Ahlan. Enjoy your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.